I've got a couple of new toys to play with. So you've already seen me axe. It's made an appearance now. Svaroch forge from Ukraine. But yeah, I love my axe. And yeah, I made the handle. But I wanted an adze which was comparable. And this is the adze that I've got. I bought it off of eBay. It was got bird shit on everything. It was 60 quid, but the edge bends over when you hit a bit of hardwood. That ain't no good. It just ain't, you know, it ain't good steel. It's rubbish. I've never been happy with it. So got a new one. I know I have already opened it and had a peep. But what we got here is an adze from Oscar Rush. It's made from spring steel, and I love the handle. It's nearly twice the weight. Nearly twice the weight of this one. So yeah, really, and it's got more of a curve on it, so it's a much more sort of wristy action, whereas this one is an arm action. So this one should be able to get into tight little places, but it's a lovely bit of kit. It was a bit expensive, but you've got to treat yourself now and again, haven't you? So I want to start using it. But that's not all. I've got something else as well. Now this is from Macsen Crafts, and it's a gouge especially designed for kuksas. Note with it as well. Oh, that's nice. Dear Mark, thank you very much for supporting my work. May the gouge serve you well, and happy carving. Kind regards, David Macsen. I had a job to read his writing. I'm going to have to make a leather protective case for this. Oh, look at that. So it's kind of like a dog leg gouge, but it doesn't curl over at the top, so you can get right into your kuksas and you can do some deep carving with it. Wow, it's pretty damn sharp as well. Yeah, that's very sharp. It's a substantial piece of kit, and I wanna have a go with it. But yeah, this is a pain. I'm gonna have to make a nice little leather protective case for it. So yeah, bit of a spend up, but You've got to have the tools to make this stuff. I've got this piece of freshly felled birch, and it looks like it's got some interesting figure in it. It's fresh, but it's already starting to split a little bit. So I want to get it in half, and I'll have a little play with, see if we can make a kuksa, or start anyway. Although, yeah, I haven't made me wedges in that for the thing yet. But yeah, give me an hour and we'll come back to it. I'm just going to split it, but it's already got a split there, so it looks like that's probably where I'm going to have to go. Yeah, and I'll avoid as many knots as possible. If I can twist it round a little bit more. Actually, it's splitting that way as well, so. I'm just going to do it there. Oh yes, definitely some nice colour in there. Right, give me an hour to finish my bowl, mate, and we'll come back to this and have a play. Okay, we're about ready to go, except I'm knackered. Right, I've made some wedges out of a bit of round branch. Made a packer piece, and I got it all locked in there, just banging the wedges. I can make up easier packing pieces at home, nice and square, just cut them out of 3x2 or 4x2. So yeah, I'll be doing that in the future. And I'm putting these pegs in as well. I'm going to do 2 at the other end as well. I've got them cut, but I was going to save one to show you what I'm up to. So I'm drilling holes in there so as I can lay a log in there and saw it without it wobbling around, to make it easier. Cutting firewood, cutting wood for spoons and kuksas and bowls, anything really, anything I got to cut, it's easier if it's anchored in place. So the bowl, mate, is really coming on today. But yeah, I want to do a bit of carving now. I think this one is about 50mm across, so it may be a little bit on the big side for doing a kuksa. But I have got one of these, which is what I was going to use, so I can just hit out the bulk of it before trying out the other super duper thing. So let's see how we get on. Oh yeah, it's very wristy. It's not so much of an arm swing, it's more in the wrist. You can get nice and accurate with it though. Yeah, of course you're in the way, I can't move around. Hey, Not going to get much more than that, but that's a start. Yeah, definitely feel more accurate with this. Less risk of going outside my marks. But as you get deeper, it gets harder, which is why these super duper tools were invented. Because you're starting to see now, I need something that sweeps around. This one's no longer working. It's hitting it out, but you go down and then you're just into the bottom there. You can't sort of get the bottom out. You need a sweepy tool. What will it do? Let's have a look. Yeah, so the grain's running this way, so you've got to be working down the grain all the time. So I would start here and go round that way, and I'd start there and go round that way, and then I'd meet up in the middle by going down. So let's see. Yeah, kind of. Gonna need some practice with it, I think. Yeah, new skill to learn. Yeah, it's taken off some pretty big lumps though. yeah, practice required. It's starting to round it out nicely on the bottom. So yeah, I've got one other tool that I want to have a play with as well. I've had this one for a while, but this is called a twicker cam. So it's a Nick Westerman, so it's more of a knife, yeah, and you twist it pretty much. So you better move back a bit, give me some space. Oh yeah, that's working. So this would be my finishing tool, I guess. Yeah, that works it out pretty quick. Yeah, so I think I just need to get some practice in so as I get nice longer shavings. This is interesting. So I'm using my my big gouge that I've been sharpening for a while. And I'm getting on really well with it for doing the sides. And look at the shavings I'm getting out of it. Which leads me to believe that the other tools aren't as sharp as they could be. Because I've been sharpening this one and I know it's sharp. But yeah, it seems that you need several different tools because you've got different jobs to do. But yeah, them shavings, peachy. So this one is good for the sides. This one is good for going round the top. Like so. But he ain't got enough curve to go down there, so you know, what is it? It's a number 5, so I probably need a number 7 or a number 8 to be able to do that. But this one seems to do it quite well until it gets to about there, and then you're asking it to do something that it ain't designed to do. It just hasn't got enough curve on it, so that the bevel starts getting in the way and it jams, if you see what I mean. So that's where the new tool comes in. So this one, absolutely perfect for the bottoms. But I'm probably missing one or two tools. I've got some Nick Westerman swan gouges, so you know, now I've got a nice idea of how to make a handle. I can make some similar sort of handles for the swan gouges. Now what are they? I think they're 70 and 90, so the 70 would probably be ideal for this, because this has got a fairly steep, you know, it's I mean it's almost half round, isn't it? So yeah, I'm getting my head around it. Well, I learnt tons carving this out, like not to do it again. No, learning which tools to use for what, and also because I left the bark on, it looked like it was almost an inch higher than it was, so I've really lost this edge here after I've taken the bark off. So you know, I probably wouldn't even have bothered with this piece of wood if I'd realised. So always take the bark off first and put a bigger flat on the top, because yeah, I thought I had a good bit of wood, but actual fact, you know, it's barely 2 inches high when you get down to this lowest point. So yeah, all that scooping I've done, you know, I'm going to lose most of that. So it was a bit of a waste of time, but you know, I was getting used to using the tools. So yeah, my lovely new tools. It's not perfectly smooth inside, but you know, what can you do? You know, I'll gradually get better. And I might be able to finish it off with a spoon knife anyway and tidy it up a bit. Alright, last peg. Thought I'd better show you doing one of them at least. So I find that I can wind it in by hand until it starts biting. Obviously I'll get the angles right. Wants to line up with that one, and well, not line up with that one so much because that one's a bit wonky. There we go, it's biting nicely. And wind it in. You've got to keep downward pressure on it all the time, because my thread on the end doesn't bite enough, so I've got to do something about that. Give you a little demo. It's best not to store the bow all tensioned up, otherwise the wood will just take on that set and take the springiness out of it. So always leave it slack when you're not using it. Having 3 sets of sticks coming out would have been better, because then I could have held it for a small log, but I just didn't have enough space on this bowl, mate. So it is what it is. that's a bit rotten. But yeah, you get the idea. And yeah, maybe you don't need it for small logs, but as you get into bigger logs, it'll become a godsend. I've got one more innovation that I'm going to do on this bowl mate, and that is, well, I'll save that. So it's not something so commonly known, but I'm gonna share it with you. So I really would recommend this book, Shave Horses and Lap Shaves and Other Woodland Vices, from Sean Hellman. Got a section on cleaving brakes and hoop shaves, bowl horses, a few different designs, which is what I was trying to make, but my chainsaw packed up. And the other thing which I want to make is an easy rider shave horse, like this one. Only I'm going to make it out of greenwood sticks and bits of wood that I find in the woods. So yeah, if you want to keep up with me, that's the book to have. There's a link in my description. Yeah, this makes a great little bench as well for having me coffee or eating my tea. I can have a log like so, and I got a table. Brilliant. But yeah, this is starting to get a bit like a woodland workshop, isn't it? In fact, that would be a very good name for a video series, I think. The Woodland Workshop. So yeah, more stuff coming. If you're interested in this kind of thing, then subscribe, give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.